What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Nike LeBron 8 V2 Low Quick Strike in the Miami Nights colorway. This is one of the original colorways of the LeBron 8 Low, which released back in 2011. And up until a few months ago, this colorway was considered a grail by many LeBron collectors, and they were reselling for upwards of 3,000 Canadian dollars on the secondary market. But Nike being Nike, they decided to finally bring these back 10 years later, and they dropped on June 4th for a price of $180 US or $235 here in Canada. The official colorway for this shoe is white, solar red, and glass blue, and this release definitely has a lot of LeBron fans happy. So I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the original release in 2011, it was only limited to Asia, Europe, and as far as North America goes, I think it was only available in Miami. So that's where LeBron James was playing at the time, of course, being a member of the Miami Heat, and because of how limited this shoe was, that explains why they were reselling for so much. So they come packaged in this shoebox, which is true to the OG look, and it's accented with this graphic of LeBron and a lion on the very top. As for the shoes, so this is the low top version of the LeBron 8 V2. So the V2, for those that don't know, is more of a stripped down, more performance oriented take on the LeBron 8, whereas the V1 typically had more luxurious and premium finishes. So diving straight into the details, the upper of the shoe is constructed using this lightweight synthetic material. The print underneath this sort of has this confetti look to it, and has this gradient effect where it goes from solar red to glass blue. Surrounding the front toe cap, we have this overlay which gives you added structure and durability, and it has a bit more of a hard finish to it to give your foot some protection. On the side of the forefoot, we have these black colored flywire cables, which are fused into the upper shell of the shoe. And this supposedly helps with lateral containment, but to be honest, in person, I'm not sure how effective the flywire cables actually are. Moving downwards, we have more of these flywire cables towards the back end of the heel, and then overlaid on top, we have the shiny white colored Nike swoosh with this blue outline surrounding the edges. On the medial side, so there's another swoosh here, but it's much smaller than the lateral side. And then moving on to the back end of the shoe, you'll see this cutout on the center of the back heel, which reveals this black colored leather underneath. We have the LeBron James signature along with the Nike swoosh done in this solar red finish. And this black leather also peeps out from the top as well. Wrapping around the center of the shoe where the eyelets are, this is covered in this tumbled white colored leather. The top two eyelets form the shape of the number 8, which makes sense given that this is a LeBron 8 shoe. And at the very bottom, we have LeBron written on the right foot and James written on the left foot. For the laces, so these come with two pairs of laces. The standard laces these come with is a flat white colored lace, and they have these solar red colored lace tips with LeBron and 8 written on the edges. The secondary pair of laces are pretty much identical, except the lace tips are done in blue. Underneath this, the tongue is constructed out of mesh on the bottom, which definitely helps with the breathability of this pair. The top of the tongue though is covered in this black colored mesh with overlays of black fuse on top, and you can see the LeBron Lion logo peeping through from the middle, and it's done in this red colored finish. And on the back side of the tongue, we have this branding which reads designed and engineered to the exact specifications of Mr. LeBron James. And we have the numbers 82 and 8, which if I had to guess, refers to 82 games in the NBA season and 8 being the model number. Pushing this tongue over to the side, you'll see that the mesh that was on the bottom of the tongue, this wraps around and connects onto the body of the shoe, giving the tongue more of a sleeve-like feel, and it really wraps your foot in place. For the interior collar of the shoe, especially around the back heel, this is really well padded with a ton of foam. And then as I take out the insole, these come with a very well padded foam insole. It's lined in this perforated red finish on the very top, and there's this rectangular leather tag on the heel which has the word witness on it. So the upper of these LeBron 8s sits atop this Phylon midsole, which is this white portion you see at the top, and underneath this we have a full-length Max Air unit. Underneath the Air unit, there's another thin layer of Phylon foam as well, so essentially there's 3 different layers of cushioning. And then turning the sneaker over to the bottom, here we have your outsole, which is entirely constructed out of the solar red colored rubber. In the middle, we have that lion graphic once again, and it exposes the Air unit that's found above it. And then on the heel, we have this exposed Phylon foam, which is done in the shape of the number 8. So for those wondering how these fit, so I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and these definitely fit snug. So I personally went up a half size. I got these in a 10.5 and they fit me great. Like I mentioned earlier, this shoe has this really sock-like feel to it, so it really wraps well to your feet, and it really gave my foot a really nice one-to-one fit, even though I went up a half a size. So for comparison's sake, I also wear a 10.5 in the Kobe 4 Pro Tro, Kobe 5, and Kobe 6 Pro Tros. So if you guys also like to go a half size up for that pair, then you should definitely go half size up for this one too. Next up, in terms of comfort, this is a really bulky but comfortable shoe overall. Like I mentioned earlier, there's Phylon, Air, and then Phylon again, so you definitely feel very elevated off the ground and has a very nice soft cushion feel to it. With that said though, it's not going to be the most stable and low to the ground feeling shoe, so if that's your preference, then you might not love the feel of the LeBron 8s, but if you don't mind more of a pillowy feel on feet, then you're definitely going to love these. Finally, in terms of the overall quality and craftsmanship on this pair, from a material standpoint, I felt like the majority of the materials were just synthetic, so there's a lot of fuses, meshes, and stuff like that. So it's not really the best from a quality perspective per se, but I felt like the leather on the eyelets and the back heel, they weren't bad, and the overall build and craftsmanship on my pair was decent as well. There were some minor glue stains, but nothing too major, so all in all, it was pretty solid. With all that being said now, let's lace these up and I'll show you guys how these look on feet. For anyone watching that's a fan of LeBron shoes, then chances are you're probably going to want to pick these up. The good thing is, even though these sold out on the release date, the resale prices on this pair are pretty much non-existent. They're pretty much reselling for retail or just a few dollars over. And I think this is a great colorway to wear in the summer. I love the whole look of this shoe. And this is a pair I never expected I would ever own in my lifetime, so kudos to Nike for bringing these back. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8. Check me out on Twitter at sean.go and visit my website as well at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.